Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. It is the beginning of the week. Obviously, we are starting out a tad red. So, what is going on? What caused Bitcoin crypto to dump? And what's causing the US market to start out in red? Let's discuss all these things and more. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome. As you can see, we're starting out today right around $113,000. And yesterday, all of a sudden, we were trending down a little bit. And then we went from 114, boom, down. You could see all the way down to 111.7. Now we have recovered a little bit from that, but what caused that? And then that also caused a lot of alts to come down, right? I'll get to that in a little bit, but today we are starting out in the red, although NASDAQ barely in the red, so that's a good thing. Right now you can see like Hut and Riot deep in the red, MicroStrategy deep in the red, NVIDIA, Robinhood in the red. So right now we're not starting out very good. But can things get better? Certainly, because there are a lot of things happening today. But I did notice Jim Cramer did tweet out very early today saying that I would like to see a pause in the endless rally of speculation, gold, crypto, and profitless companies. That is really bad punctuation or grammar. Like there's a dot here. I think he meant a comma. But, well, you know, inverse Cramer tends to be right. So if he likes to see a pause, that means we should not get a pause on endless rally of speculation on gold, crypto, and profitless companies. But yeah, I think right now there's a lot of hope and speculation on the pumps that are coming for the remainder of this year because of the cuts. We just had one last week that made everything go upwards. If you're looking at October, which is coming up pretty soon, less than a month, we have another huge cut. And then December, another huge cut. So we have two more cuts, right? But can there be more? Well, obviously there's no more FOMC meetings, but can we get further or deeper cuts at each one of these meetings? Quite possibly. That's what people are waiting for this week. For some reason, there are like 10 speeches from different Fed governors, presidents, you name it. Today, we got the St. Louis one, and then we have the new Governor Stephen Moran, who wanted a 50 basis point. You got Cleveland, Richmond, and then tomorrow you got more. You got Powell speaking tomorrow again, Atlanta, and then you got the Fed Vice Chair. I mean, it goes on and on and on. These guys just want to talk. I don't know what else they're going to say, but people are waiting for more dovish language from these guys, okay? Hoping that things will turn around. And then obviously there are two more things coming up that I mentioned yesterday. We do have a GDP estimate that's coming out this Thursday, and then more importantly, PCE inflation that's coming out Friday. So if GDP shows that we're in line, okay, if it shows that GDP has fallen drastically, that would help things, even though it's bad for the economy, obviously. Jobless claims also Thursday. If that comes way higher, that would help. And then PCE, that's the thing. It's anticipated that we will be going up 0.1%, but somehow we don't, and we just stay at the same level or we go below. These are things that could really help drive the narrative of larger cuts coming up later this year. This is a big macro news. Any of these Fed people could say something that could upset the market or make the market turn bullish. And these data can definitely sway things. So be prepared for a big volatile week. I kind of said that yesterday. I didn't expect how volatile, but I think this week will be volatile. All right, what else? Last week, BTC inflow, pretty good, 222 million, almost all of it from BlackRock. So BlackRock obviously isn't stopping. And if you look at ETH inflow, it was still good, 48 million, almost all of it from BlackRock. Every other fund decided to sell. That's not a good thing. But BlackRock remains bullish and they continue to buy. So that is good. BlackRock seems to be the difference maker at this point. They're just different from the other fund companies. And I get it. A lot of you guys are like, what are you talking about? Funds are just other funds or Wall Street or traders that are buying. That's why they're buying, right? But BlackRock is different. They have said they use their own funds to buy their own funds. And they're doing something that makes the offset the fact that, you know, these red days, there's still positive inflow. A lot of times it makes no sense, but that's because they're doing their trickery, their shenanigans, and somehow they figure it out. All right, so this is what you guys are waiting for. Why did we go down all of a sudden? Why do we have this mini dump, mini crash? Okay, you might be wondering. Well, we had a huge liquidation event. In fact, if you go back all the way, this doesn't show it, but this may be, yesterday what happened, may be the largest liquidation event we have seen for this year. And we have seen some large ones. Like we have seen $1 billion liquidations, $1.5 billion liquidation. Yesterday anticipated that we were around 1.7 billion, and that may be an underestimate. It could be even larger than that. And that's because we just have a lot of people that's feeling bullish and had their longs open and went too long and they all got liquidated. Okay, so whenever that happens, you got forced liquidation in masses, in the billions. That's what brings things down. Okay, that's what brings things down. So that's the bottom line. Now, who triggered it? Who initiated it? Okay, no one really knows. Everyone speculates, but it has to be from one of the big boys, one of the big market makers like Binance. Who knows? But they're out there, they're doing it. They have to clear out some leverage because there were way too many longs. And, you know, I mentioned about two of the hottest plays, right? Recently, actually one of them being the hottest, and that is Aster. Aster went up like literally 1,000%, like within days, okay? And people were longing this like crazy, like mad on every single exchange. So it did not surprise me that we went down. It needed to happen because all these exchanges, because I was even playing longs on Aster too. And then I noticed that all these exchanges kept lowering the max amount that you can long because they were all losing money and running out because no one was shorting on the other side. So a liquidation event like this was not a big surprise, especially on very, very, very hot coins like Aster. For the remaining of the market, I'm sure there were a lot, and that's why it needed to be done. It didn't need to be done, but it was done. Otherwise, most of these exchanges would go bankrupt because when everyone's making longs and everyone's winning money, where's the money coming from, right? They need to do it. So it happens all the time. When the market gets too hot, it tends to get reset every single time. every single time we've noticed it. A lot more this cycle than before because there's just a lot more derivative volume. There just is. There's just way more this cycle than in previous cycles, which is why these derivative dexes like Aster are doing so well because, and Hyperliquid and now Aventus and others, there's just so many traders using them. All right, but nevertheless, we continue forward. And, here's the interesting thing. So this is one that, a lot of you guys always ask. Why is Bitcoin stuck sideways, though, and not breaking out? Is it really due to these market makers clearing out leverage? Is that the real reason? Or is there some other reason? So Natalie Brunel interviewed Michael Saylor and put this out. And Saylor explains it a little bit differently. So I would like to play this for you guys. And she talks about, it was a good question because she talks about right now it seems like people are more bearish than bullish.
Human tendency to get.
Like every week I see you in some other city giving a great presentation. How are you?
Here we are in your beautiful studio.
Well, I feel like we have a lot to talk about. The sentiment that I'm feeling in Bitcoin is bearishness, actually. So you're the perfect person to talk to because whenever I speak with you and do an interview, I feel more bullish than ever and need to buy more Bitcoin. So first of all, why do you think people are feeling generally more bearish and why do you think they should be bullish?
I think there's a natural ebb and flow in the economy and in the community. And so Bitcoin surges up and has periods of extraordinary excitement, generates a lot of adrenaline and enthusiasm. Then there's a celebration and then people extrapolate straight line to the moon. And then it retraces a bit and consolidates. And then people think, well, it's going to bounce back really fast. And if it chops sideways for a while, there's always a natural human tendency to get frustrated. I don't think we have anything to be unhappy about. The truth is, if you zoom out and look at the 1-year chart, Bitcoin is like up 99%. Mm-hmm. It's like nearly double. So if you walked in up to anybody in the street and said, hey, I'm heavily invested in an asset that is growing up 100% a year, should I be happy or not? They would say, you should be happy.
So that's the first point. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but there is a second point I want to show that's actually kind of interesting. But the first point is pretty obvious, right? We live in a moment when we get a good period, like he said, everyone wants to see his moonshot, and everyone hates the fact that we slow down or there's volatility or whatever, right? But we tend to forget that year to date or year over year performance of Bitcoin is freaking phenomenal, up 100%. No one tends to focus on that. Everyone just focuses, well, it just fell down from 118 down to 111. What's going on with that? So that's a true point. But here's the second thing that he mentions that I've never really heard anyone else talk about. And I don't know if I really agree, but listen to this.
Right? It's just that the way that it gets there tends to be a bit volatile. As for why, I think the why Bitcoin has been consolidating, building its support in the teens right now, is because you've got $2.3 trillion of Bitcoin that is unbanked. And so you've got a lot of people that own a lot of Bitcoin, but they can't get a loan against it. And because they can't get a loan against it, the only, at the point that you all of a sudden find yourself Bitcoin rich, but fiat poor, you don't have a lot of dollars, but you have a lot of Bitcoin and you can't borrow against it, then you think, I have to go sell it. So I think Bitcoin's right now, it's like this Mag 7 startup where all of a sudden all the employees got insanely rich on penny stock options, but they can't borrow against them, so they have to sell them. And so they're selling, and then people are saying, well, why are those employees selling the stock? Is that a vote of not confidence?
So that's interesting. Again, I don't know if I really buy that argument. So he's saying that the reason why Bitcoin is consolidating is because everyone's Bitcoin rich and cash poor, and they're selling, so they're not cash poor because they can't borrow against their Bitcoin. Interesting answer. I get that because I am in that position too. Like, I hold everything in crypto and I only sell when I need to. I don't know if that's the reason why Bitcoin's consolidating, right? I think there's a lot more macro factors at play right now that's holding it back. Obviously, the 4-year cycle also plays a role. And then we got these whale dumps and manipulation, liquidation events. There's a lot of things. I don't think there's one thing. And I do think there are companies out there that are still letting you borrow against your Bitcoin. You just have to be careful because, you know, there's fees involved, there's interest, obviously, and if you have a major dump, you know, you're gonna be forced to put in more Bitcoin. So it's not like risk free, right? But it's interesting that he said that. I don't know, as one of the reasons why it's consolidating. I don't think anyone else would say that, but it is what it is. All right, but regardless, you know, he's going to continue to do what he's doing, which is to buy more Bitcoin. So he bought 850 more Bitcoin, about $100 million worth this week, and he's holding 639,000 Bitcoin at 47.33 billion. Average price is starting to go up quite a lot. 73,000, almost 74,000. I remember back in the day, his average price was around 30,000. Right now it's been pushed up to 74,000, but still not too shabby if you calculate the unrealized gains, okay, in the billions right now. And someone else that's following, Metaplanet, huge purchase, 5,419 Bitcoin, securing 85% of his year-end Bitcoin target, and they are raising money like crazy. They're creating companies in America to raise more money and basically following Saylor's footsteps to buy more and more and more and more Bitcoin. So again, I show this pretty much every day. It shows that there are still a lot of people that are buying. They don't care about the volatility. They don't care about liquidation events, right? They understand that being a long-term holder pays, and probably pays the best out of any investment out there. So that's why they continue to hodl and acquire DCA. So here's another company in UK that raised $20 million for their treasury. And then, you know, Semler Scientific is also one company that has acquired a lot of Bitcoin, but guess what? Vivek's company decided to acquire Semler Scientific in an all-stock transaction. This actually just came out not too long ago. If you look at it, what is it? In addition, Strive also purchased 5,816 Bitcoin, right? So that's a $675 million acquisition of just Bitcoin. That's on top of what they just spent for Semler Scientific. So this Strive company, which sounds a lot like one of the Saylor's company, is going all in on Bitcoin and acquiring Bitcoin for his treasury. So pretty big deal. And it says in combination, they would hold close to 11,000 Bitcoin. A lot. That's a lot. All right, what else? Will crypto reach 4 billion users faster than the internet? Again, yes. Yes, the adoption curve for Bitcoin is faster, okay, than pretty much any tech innovation we had ever. And that includes the internet, includes cell phone, includes what came before those. I don't know. The microwave. I don't know. But I've seen charts where Bitcoin's adoption is way faster, right? And it just tends to be like that. Every new tech invention that catches on fire tends to get adopted faster than ever before. So no surprise. Here's something that also is good. It kind of gives you a reminder. Most of us do not have to face this, but there are countries that are doing weird KYC information collection or just weird KYC, and it's not good, right? Like Vietnam, for example, they have some new biometric verification rules, and people that did not comply lost their bank account. 86 million bank accounts deleted. I don't even know what happens there. How do you get your money then, right? So, things like this around the world, we just don't know. There's a lot of places that just have weird things, weird rules, regulations, or hyperinflation, whatever, that people have to worry about, right? That's where Bitcoin comes in and self-custody comes in. You have a wallet, no one can tell you what to do with it. They can't apply monetary policy to it. They can't apply more strict rules like KYC because it's already your wallet. What can they do, right? You could send crypto, receive crypto from anywhere in the world. So it's just a gentle reminder that there are countries around the world with citizens that really are in need of Bitcoin and self-custody, right? And it's not just Bitcoin. It could be ETH. It could be Sol. It could be stable coins, right? Especially countries with that suffer from hyperinflation. You got to protect your wealth somehow. If you have to convert to stable coins and buy, stable coins rather than holding the current fiat, it makes sense. Also, the Bitcoin Korean Premium Index, this used to be called the Kimchi Index. I guess they decided to change that name. For the longest time, it was called the Kimchi Index. Basically, whenever there's a premium in South Korea, it was a good thing. It was a precursor to a big move coming up, right? And that's exactly what we see. Same thing with the Coinbase Premium. We see that happen historically all the time. And that's usually a good thing. Here's a surprising thing. Even with the surprise dip or dump, or maybe you could say it's not a surprise, whatever, we are still green in September, right? We're like almost three quarters through. We're still in the green. This is a month that historically has been the worst month for crypto, but we changed things last year when we had a really fantastic month and the year before that. So are we going to see the same thing? Quite possibly. Again, we tend to live in a moment we don't realize that, hey, August was not a good month. We were not doing well in August. We're doing better in September. And we could do way better closing out this month and then way better in October. October has been a pretty good month for Bitcoin historically. Only 2 years has we seen red, but every other year it's been green and massively in green. And we got another rate cut coming up in October as well. So that's coming up in just a few weeks. And then, for UTA people, Ali here, and even Tyler in Crypto Pulse. Crypto Pulse, I've been telling you guys about Bootcamp, and he's been leading with live trading, and it's all in Discord for free. He called it yesterday accurately. He's like, we're probably going to go down to 112. That's exactly what happened. But others also have said this, hey, we need to fall down to about 112 level, 111, 112, before we come back up and rally to 130s. So let's see if that happens, right? But some of these guys have seen it and it has happened, which is great. So again, it could be that we just need to clear out that leverage, clear out those longs. At least I don't want to see longs cleared out. Okay, let's be clear. It's the market makers and the exchanges, or they're going to lose a lot of money. But whenever we tend to see that happen, that's when we have a good sign to go higher. we have seen these massive liquidation events come, these shakeouts come right before a huge move upwards, and that could be coming in October or even later this week or even next week. There's so many things happening this week. Who knows? This is a big macro week. All right. Outside of Bitcoin and macro and all this stuff, I mean, for the rest of the ecosystem, there's still a lot of things going on. Helios Medical acquires Solana tokens for digital asset. Okay, they purchased 760,000 Solana, right? So it's not just Bitcoin treasury companies. It's not just ETH treasury companies. You have Sol treasury companies, and you tend to see them pop up every week now. There are a lot of them. And then let's not forget ETFs too. I mentioned it many times. We're going to get it for Sol and XRP and probably Cardano and many others. And it's not just the US. UK also made it very, very easy now for ETFs or ETPs to get listed. So all these things are just avenues for big corporations and institutions and funds to come into this space and dump billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, right? These are all great things. Great things. Lastly, Toyota. Toyota opens up some kind of blockchain integrated city with 360 residents. And they have tokenized vehicle rights and peer-to-peer energy trading systems. That's wild. That's wild. All right. That's pretty much it. Well, I've been talking. We've been holding. We're still at 113. Looking at Sol, it's at 223, which ain't bad. It's still above this resistance. It used to, I mean, support. It used to be resistance. Now it's turned support. And then you got others that are still quite hot, like Aster. Like I said, it did come down from its top, but it's holding very well. And then I guess the rest of it, Bitcoin dominance is up slightly today. You can see when you zoom out, it's up very, very slight. Coinbase is down. Bitminer is down. Robinhood is down. I mean, everything's pretty much red today. But could be a good recovery day. Who knows? We'll see what these Fed governors say. There's a lot of Fed people talking today. All right, let's do Q&A. Lucky Sky, what do you think about leverage trader? Every time Sol is up 30, take profit, wait for it to dump. I've seen Sol drop $25, $30. This is a question, not financial advice. Okay, so you're asking leverage traders in this channel, not me. Okay. What about Ventus? So that was one of the two that I mentioned yesterday. Aster really set things off, and Ventus also did very well. It's down from its top yesterday, but you could see it's going up. So the new trend seems to be decentralized derivative exchanges. Hyperliquid kind of set the tone, and then Binance came out with Aster. Ventus has been out too, but this is backed by Coinbase. So it's funny that all these big exchanges are actually pushing for DEXs. So we'll see if this kicks off renewed interest in DeFi, because I feel like DeFi kind of died down. It exists. No one gets really excited about it. But if these companies can bring more excitement to them, then it's going to be pretty good. And by the way, so today's a down day, so I'm gonna do this. But yesterday, I don't know if a lot of you guys watched my video yesterday. Maybe it was Sunday Night Football or something. Seems like it was missed. I put this out. A lot of you guys know that I have a Clash token for my gaming side. And I decided to put out this giveaway for them. So I want to balance out the ecosystem, and I want to bring more attention to it. And these tournaments I've been holding, I held one on Friday. It was very well. And we'll continue to hold these tournaments every Friday. And I stream pretty much every day, although I may back down on that because it's a lot of streaming. But if you guys want to get free Sol, basically, you just have to hold some Clash. And you just have to fill out this form. And I'm going to keep this form open indefinitely for now. Right? So if you have Clash in your wallet, submit it, and I'll just randomly give out Sol. That's what I'm going to do. And people love free things, I know that. So I'm going to be doing that from now on. And I don't know why you wouldn't want to participate. This form is in Discord. It's also in the description of this video. So I'm going to be randomly selecting periodically during my live streams here and while I'm gaming and hosting prize tournaments. So I want you guys to be all aware of it, because it seems like a lot of people don't watch my recorded videos or don't watch every video, so they miss it. Andrew, if you can read, it will tell you. And there's 39. Oh, we're going up. There's 39 applicants. That's dirt low. That's dirt low. The forum should have, there's 41 now, right? This forum should have hundreds. No, it should have thousands. Your only requirement is to have 500K of Clash, which is really nothing at this point. So not to have some and have it in a wallet for me to random select, it's just not wise. This is how I'm going to do it. I might as well just do it now. There's 41 responses. So I found this site called Wheel of Names. And then it's really for picking out names, but you could put anything in there. And then you just live. And you just select. Boom. So this is a winner. Right, so what I'm going to do is check, because you got to have Clash in there. So what I'm going to do is put it in here and check. See, this guy has 1.1 million worth of Clash. So he wins. He wins. What I'm going to send him half a Sol. So what? 100 something bucks? 160 bucks? So this person just wins 160 bucks. After this stream, I will send half a Sol to this person. That's all it takes. You just need to have a wallet with some Clash. You put it in here. You go win free money. So don't know why you would not want to. Clarkson asked, are you an Apple or Samsung ecosystem user? I am Samsung. I started out Apple. I like Samsung a lot more. I mean, but when it comes to like tablets, I still think iPads are the best. I don't like Samsung tablets. But phone, I've been a Galaxy user for a long time. Canuck Gaming. Kick someone out and let me join. I have 1,300 trophies. 1,300 trophies is nothing, man. You just started. Everyone in my clan, gaming clan, that is like 10,000 plus. Our clan is actually really good. Every time I play, I get frustrated against them because they're so good. We're coming back a little bit. No reason why we can't have a good recovery today. Maybe not all the way, but slight recovery. Is the Solana phone any good? I don't know. If people got their new Seeker phone, they can chime in. I didn't have the original one, so I don't know. I think people only bought it because of the memes. When Solana released their first phone, no one bought it. Okay, and then people realized, oh, the airdrops from the phone paid the phone. Like, it was worth more than the phone itself. And then people bought it all and it sold out. But when it first came out, no one wanted it. Like, no one thought it was useful. But now with the Seeker phone, people are expecting like more airdrops and stuff like that that can really pay off the phone. Is October going to be late this year? I don't know. It could. It could be late. I remember last year, I was doing my Sunday walks, and I remember week after week, I'm like, it's not over until it's over. It's not over until it's over. And I think it wasn't until the third or fourth one, the very last one, I think it was the third Sunday walk where things really started turning around. And I told you guys it ain't over until it's over. So I remember last October was actually, it started weak and then it got better. I have 15,000 cups. You mean trophies? I can't open up a clan spot. There's only 50 and everyone in there is pretty active. I would say if you really want, okay, be in the Clash Royale, go in Discord, be in the Clash Royale channel, and then the spot opens up, I always share. I share everything in here first. My tournaments, random tournaments, anything that relates, I'll share in there. And also, speaking of which, I have clipping, right? And clipping is for people that want to make extra money, clipping my live streams. But I opened up for gaming as well. So you could clip both my live streams and CRU or gameplay, and I'll pay you for that based on views. So we have a couple people that's very consistent at doing this and making a couple $100 a month by doing it. So maybe more than that, probably more than that. So that's always an option too in Discord. So again, everything is free in Discord. Everything goes. I mentioned about like the call outs. Tyler does boot camp, which is in here. Some of these charts that I've posted has been dead accurate. So really no reason not to be in here, guys. Someone actually mentioned, look at my portfolio. It was just posted. I don't know if this is this one. probably is this one. And this is interesting because it has strategy in here. About 60% in Bitcoin, 23% in ETH, 12 in Sol, 4% in Chainlink, and 2% in strategy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this portfolio. I would say maybe a little bit too heavy in ETH at this point. I would bump up the Sol. I think Chainlink at 4% is fine. Strategy at 2% is fine. But it's kind of redundant. When you have so much Bitcoin to have strategy, it's almost redundant. So I would put in something else. Maybe at this point, put in like SUI or XRP, and maybe even one of these new players like Aster, which can still continue to go up. Bullseye, AI says it's common to think exchanges pay, but the money comes from counterparties in the market. As more money goes long, it becomes more expensive. Yeah, there's like this funding rate thing. I don't quite understand. I'm not going to pretend to. But whenever one side becomes too long, the other side becomes negative. So basically, it's like you have to pay more fees as more people are on one side, right? But it doesn't matter. People don't care about those fees because they're making money. When they're doing a 10x, 20x, they're making tons of money. These exchanges, they can't pay out. There's been stories where exchanges have gone under because they can't pay, or they just simply don't pay, and that's a big problem. But most exchanges that I know of gets their liquidity from Binance, and they borrow from Binance. So Binance is basically funding everything, all these exchanges. It's not just Binance. There's other market makers, Bybit, and I'm sure Coinbase is, but Binance is the biggest. But if everyone gets too greedy and goes longs and no one's shorting, and everyone's correct and the market keeps going up, that's a problem for them. What are your thoughts on Flying Tulip? I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's a new meme coin, which I don't know, which you can post in the meme coins chat here and get others to talk about it. My portfolio is above that one. Oh, this one. 45% Bitcoin, 31% Sol, 7% SUI, 6 ETH, AVAX. I mean, that's not bad. That's a good one. That's a good allocation, I think. There's nothing wrong with that. And I can't help you with which ones you should continue to DCA, but I think that's a pretty good makeup. How do you get into Discord? The link is in the description. Everything I talk about, guys, if you don't know how to get to it, check the description of the video. All the links are in the description of the video. You just have to click that one extra button to reveal the description and you see all the links. Doesn't matter if you're on mobile or desktop, you'll see it. Got 3,500 members in here. That's a large amount. Love to see this get to above 10,000. I mean, there's 4,000 of you guys just watching this right now. That means there's more of you guys watching than Discord members, which doesn't make sense. You guys all love to talk crypto. You're in here every day discussing things. Why would you not want to do it 24/7? I've been spending a lot more time in Discord too, every day. So why would not all of you guys join and have these discussions 24/7? Doesn't make any sense. You love to be here to chat. Get in Discord and chat. It's the same thing. Iggy, you're the only one that has complained about that. Yet this number keeps going up. So I don't know what's wrong with yours, but everyone else seems to be okay getting inside. You just have to go to WAP. The only the only thing you have to do is go to WAP. It leads you to it. You sign up an account and you click join Discord. That's it. I'm an old man. I don't know what Discord is. If you know what YouTube is and you know live chatting in YouTube, then you know what Discord is. It's just live chatting with others in the group. That's it. There's nothing difficult about it. These are all just different channels that you can chat in. That's it. General chat, techno analysis, meme coins, off topic, car chat, clash chat. It's not really difficult to figure out. But boot camp is also a big one. A lot of people have been joining for boot camp, which is learning how to trade. And there's like several traders on my team. Tyler's leading boot camp, and we have it. I think we'll have a boot camp this week. It's live, interactive learning. But a lot of people seem to enjoy it, and they're really upping their TA skills and trading skills by doing so. So I would highly recommend it. Again, that's in boot camp, absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. Raz, like I said, I've been saying this is free. There's nothing you have to pay for. In fact, not only is it free, I'm actually paying, because if you want to join and you want to help clip, okay, which takes just a little effort, yes. You have to download a video and you have to clip it, but you know, just with that, you actually make money. So not only is it free, you can actually make money by joining Discord. And you can make money by filling out the form, which I see has gone up by 9s. This giveaway form, which I'm just giving out Sol for free, just by being a Clash holder. So this is a little different. You got to have some Clash, but the amount of Clash you need to hold is dirt low to just be forever on this list and have a chance to win free Sol forever, basically, until I decide not to start giving it out. But I'm probably going to give it out a lot. And I already randomly selected one, even during this stream. Aster is still... I want to see Aster like pump right back up. I FOMO'd into Aster, so I do want to see Aster do well. I think once they get their Binance listing, they're going to start moving again. I think right now it finally like leveled out after going up so much, which is good. But we'll see. And then we'll see if the others like Aventus continues. It also seems like it has leveled out, which is good. I mentioned about Bluefin too. Bluefin is a little different story. Bluefin is the same thing, but it's on Sui. It's been out for a long time. It's way down from before. So I don't know if it could go back to where it was. But if derivative, dexes get really, really hot, it has a chance of coming back. What time do I stream on Pump Fun? 8 p.m. I decided that I'm going to do multi-stream now again, because Pump Fun's like spamming is horrible, and there's no way, you can't have moderators. It's really bad, so you can't even chat on there. But I'll still do live stream from there and the I Am George channel. So I did that yesterday. I'm probably going to do that again today. Just do it for an hour. I don't mind when I play, I don't mind chatting, right, about crypto. It's just I'm kind of distracted, but there's not a lot of people in there. It's like between yesterday it was like 60 people, right? And everyone's just like kind of just watching. They're not asking questions. Like, you guys love to ask questions in Q&A. Join in, just ask crypto questions. I don't care. But it's something. It's something. You watch me play a game rather than just look at a chart and do nothing. So I don't get why you guys wouldn't like it. You just can't be so lazy and expect every single thing to be on this channel, which I already put out a lot of videos, but there are other channels that I'm trying to grow as well. Scotty says, if you had 10 Bitcoin since 2017 and never sold, what would you do? Just continue to sell. No, okay, here's a real honest answer. If I only had 10 Bitcoin and nothing else, I'd probably sell 1 or 2 Bitcoin and buy alts. That's what I would do. If I only had Bitcoin and nothing else, that's what I would do. I'd diversify a little bit. We're not lazy. Humans resist change. That's laziness. Anything that you don't want to do, I mean, I'm guilty of this too. You don't want to go to the gym, it's because you're lazy. You know, you don't want to do something, it's because you're lazy. You're procrastinating, it's because you're lazy. That's what it honestly comes down to. If you chose not to be lazy and you wanted to change, you can. But everyone likes to be lazy. That's just bottom line. Everyone loves to chill and relax and enjoy life, so to speak. Path of least resistance. Yeah, that's true. That's basically laziness. But, you know, humans can achieve a whole lot. People that put their mind to something can change the world if they wanted to. It's just really, really damn difficult, but they could. And people definitely could change their lives if they wanted to. They could turn things around. It's just a matter of how much you want to work at it. Everyone is dealt a different hand. I know that. People's upbringing, their family, whatever. But people that are 100% dedicated to something, they always achieve it. It's just how much work you want to put into it. Like, I really can't say for myself, right? I tried very hard in some things and not very hard in other things. So no one's perfect. But, you know, I'll just say, like, when I was trying to grow this channel from 2018 to 2021 for 3 years straight, I was streaming twice a day, okay, to an audience of like 30. Audience of sometimes even less than that. Because I refused to give up, because I just knew that if I did it and did it long enough, it would work out. Even though it might have been blind faith, I did it. Not only did I do that, but also I spent most of my days doing a second channel reviewing cars, because I wasn't making any money. And I did that. So I spent basically, and I edited my own videos. So not only did I spend like 2-3 hours recording those cars, I spent like 3 hours editing those cars. So like literally I would spend maybe 8 hours a day either filming or editing, probably more than that if you include crypto. And I did that from 2018 after that crash to 2021, mid 2021, with basically no audience. And I kept doing it because I refused to give up. Most people in my situation, especially my age, would have gave up and just got another job and just like forgot about it, right? I didn't. So that's just one example. And that's not really that hard, because I was in a position where I could do that. There are many people that work 2 and 3 jobs and they can't do that. I get it. But again, it just comes down to, you got to have that mindset. You just go dedicate yourself and just don't give in no matter what. no matter how hard it is, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much hate you may be getting, when I'm streaming during those days when Bitcoin is at $3,000 or $5,000, no one wanted to listen to Bitcoin going to $100,000. Zero. Zero people wanted to hear about one day Bitcoin could go to $100,000 when we have just fallen to $5,000 or $8,000. But I did it anyways. I took on the hate. People just said I was just a bull tart, and you know, Bitcoin will never come back and never go to 100,000. But I stuck with it. Where's that liquidation thing? Yeah. Those of you guys tuning in late, we had 1.7 billion approximately liquidated. This is the reason why we dumped. It could be more than that. I think it's a lot more than that. The data is always coming in, and a lot of it's just wrong. Most people just use CoinGlass data. And Bybit CEO already said it. That's very inaccurate. It's probably like 1/10 of the actual number. So if he says that, I tend to believe it. So 1.7 billion is more like 17 billion in liquidations. And if you think about it, 17 billion is what's needed actually to bring everything down like that. Like 1 billion to bring down the entire market by hundreds of billions doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So what is Discord? It's just a chat program. It's a chat program where you can chat with others. It's really that simple. Remember back in the day, those of you guys that are old enough, remember AIM, AIM from AOL or IRC? That's what Discord is. It's the new age of chat programs where you could have groups and direct messages. Remember back in the day, IRC was so hot. I never used IRC. But I used AIM a lot, and then and you have Telegram. Discord is basically the same thing. Oh, I forgot about ICQ. Yeah, I did use ICQ back in the day. But Discord is the new version of that. Basically, it's exactly the same. Just one thing replaced another. Yeah, a lot of you guys are my age, so you remember all that. Growing up, IRC, and then ICQ, and then AIM. These were like the top. I still remember dial-up, man. I remember the store called Lectech that was open. It was kind of like the, like an electronics store. I still remember buying DOS and getting excited about DOS, even though after I install it, I have no idea what to do with it. Like, you just have a better version of DOS. Like, what do you do with it? Nothing. But I was excited getting it. And then finally with Windows, there was something you could do with it. And then like dial-up, I remember it being all excited going from 28.8 to 56K modem. And then we had finally like some broadband options, ISDN lines, the god awful expensive. I remember being so excited, doubling my internet speed from 28.8 to 56K, and it wasn't really 56K because you had to have perfect phone lines. Did you know AOL just stopped their dial-up service like a month ago? They had dial-up service and it was still one of their biggest money makers, and they finally stopped it. I don't know if you guys could believe that. George Chop says, my first job was putting PCs from DOS to Windows, setting up the PIF files for icons. What's PIF files? I don't even know. By the way, funny story. We're still climbing up. Funny story. So, just going back to Clash. I was thinking that maybe I could collaborate with some of these Clash streamers, right? So there's a few people I watch on TikTok. They randomly come up. There's a smaller creator. He's an older guy. He's probably my age, I think. So I saw he was streaming someone else's stream, like this tournament. So I reached out to him like, hey, I'm a crypto guy, but I started a Clash channel. So do you want to collaborate sometime? And he chewed me out. He's like, no, I don't. CryptosRUs. I don't want nothing to do with crypto. All these guys are like scammers. And like, he was just like cussing me out and cussing out crypto. I'm like, dude, get off your high horse, man. First of all, you're not as big as you think you are. And second of all, dude, just chill. You could just say no. You don't have to go that hard into how much you hate crypto. So I got very angry and left. But I really wanted to just chew them out. But some of these influencers, they just think they're just, they're just way bigger than they are. Or even if they're a big one, you don't have to be like that. If someone approaches me to collab, I'm not going to say like, get the F out of my face, right? You're below me. I'm not going to do a collab with you. I'm never like that. You don't have to like just tear someone down. But we are recovering a little bit. That's good. I want to see Avantis go back up. It was just at like 165, like just like a few hours ago. I don't know what made it fall down again. It's very volatile right now if you're an Aster. Avantis, I like to see it come back up to 250s. It probably will. These are like the only thing that's like green right now. But Bitcoin is slowly coming back up, which is good. If we get right back to 114, which it's only $700 away, that'll be a good start. We are trending upwards. Again, name the main theme today is join Discord if you want to chat and learn more. It's not difficult. Those of you guys that say you're too old for it, you're not. There are people in here that are 60s and 70s. I know that. It's just a chat program. And if you ever grew up with IRC or ICQ or whatever, you know how to use this. Or Telegram, it's the same thing. And also, make sure you fill out the form. There's 51 responses now. I gave out 0.5 SOL. I'll continue to give out SOL just to Clash holders. It's that simple, even if you don't play the game. But I would love for you guys to actually get involved so then we can have these huge tournaments. Last Friday, we had a tournament with 87 people. I want to see these tournaments with like hundreds of people, right? And give out really good prizes and everything else that comes with it. But even if you're not involved with it, whatever, you can get involved with this and still get some free airdrops. And the forum and Discord and everything that I always talk about is in the description. You don't have to magically try to find it. They're all in the description of the video. It's not very difficult. All right, guys, that is it. Let's see what happens. There's going to be a lot more Fed speakers today and tomorrow. They'll be talking about the economy and so forth. So we'll see if they move markets. Otherwise, maybe we just have a good recovery day today. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight. And have a good one. All right. Take care.